Once upon a time, in a village of beautiful array, Hugh O'Connor's castle building went a bit astray. It was the 1300s, mind, when sat-nav wasn't great. O'Connor's men set to work and structured our castle's state. The earliest castle of its time, towering above the rest, with great stone walls of 7 metres and a moat to secure the nest. Made home to high kings, lords, ladies and fair, until O'Connor realised he didn't want it there.
There was a young girl here, she was from Ballintubber in County Mayo, her name was Malia Moran, and she worked in here with the king, Hugh O'Connor, and she was there, and the poor girl became pregnant, and of course when the Queen heard it, she decided she's getting rid of Malia Moran, and she ran her, fired her, whatever you'd like to call it, and came along and put, of course she got the witch to put a curse on her that she'd never have this child. And that time they got the reeds and they plaited them and they put it up and she hung it up. And it seems anyway, 9 months later anyway, the child was to be born. And of course, the poor woman was in labour and she couldn't have the child. So somebody come up and told the Queen that the child was after being born. And in pure madness, she took the reed and she said, "Witches I'll never believe in again." And she fired it on the ground, and with that, the Cahilmore, the wine red hand, the reason the red hand is because he was so long for the mother to have him that he got blood shot all up along his arm. But anyway, years went by and he was reared and he moved on. He got a job. That time they used to go around from farm to farm helping out farmers. So he went off and he was doing that, and the next thing anyway, the king died and he was giving it to his eldest son, which he married, and so the people said, like, you had another son and we won't accept this fella as the king. We object completely, we will not, we'll rebel. So they sent out their scouts to find out where he was, and they got him cutting oats in Ballintubber in County Mayo. And when they found him anyway, they decided that he said, no, he asked the people, he says, "Is there anything I can do for you? I'm going to be king." You know, and they said, they had no church, would you build a church for us? So he said he would. So when he came back here, of course, he had no education, so he was sent off to England. I suppose they've gone for 5 or 6 years, but he told them here to build a church. And when he came back, he said, "Did you build the church for the people of Ballintubber?" He says, "We did." He brought him down to the graveyard here, which is here in Ballintubber, and showed it to him. He says, "That's not what I asked you at all." He says, "Ballintubber in County Mayo." And with that, he says, he was so mad, he said, "I'm going to build them an abbey." And he built an abbey in Ballintubber in County Mayo, and that is how it came. It was, it's Cahilmore, the wine red hand, had built that abbey from Ballintubber here in County Roscommon. No.
The 18th century was the date the Cromwellian ruled and sealed our castle's fate. It was a time from long ago, but only recently the stories we are getting to know. Our American family with us 4 learning years, historians, archaeologists, anthropologists and the like, academics from disciplines interested in the how, exploring strands that have woven to form community life now. Here to uncover Ballintubber's heritage and past, mixing and mingling with greater mass, discovering our myths, both lies and truths, to dig out more than artefacts buried in the castle roots.
You told somebody you were from Ballintubber, you'd always say, "When we have a castle."
The thing is, it's not a holiday destination. It's usually Killarney, Westport, Galway, these places.
Just being up in our bar alone, always I hear every day in those weeks approaching, when are the Yanks coming, when are the Americans coming?
Castles and Communities is an archaeological and anthropological study of our historic landscape.
I immediately fell in love with the idea of going over to this small town in Ireland and doing an excavation on a medieval castle, and so I just got hooked and The next day, basically, I bought my plane ticket.
For us in California, in the Bay Area, it's so hectic and busy. It's great to come out to a place like Ballintubber where it's just lovely people, lovely scenery.
We have this great big Anglo-Norman castle built in the early 14th century.
This has always been a prized possession of the village and gave the village, I think, an identity.
We have a very close-knit community here in Ballintubber, and people are always eager to help.
We would be coordinating this side of it and they would be working from the other side from America.
There's so many individuals coming together to work as part of a team. That's what makes this so successful.
The opportunities that the students have within castles and communities is second to none on a global basis.
We take our students really from day one, and pretty much right away from the first couple of days we put them to work. We take them into the community and observe what's taking place in a community by actively participating in events that the community is also involved with.
Actually, I've never been to a bog, and I didn't know what it was until today.
It's a good chance for the students to just come and let loose and, get dirty, really get in there.
I feel like our group is very active and engaging and willing to participate in every single amazing things that the town has put on for us.
It was just like one of the best parties I've ever been to.
Walk 1, 2, 3 and turn.
Today I feel that we're one of the nicest villages in County Roscommon.
It's about learning with a smile on your face.
Would definitely come back. I'm definitely wanting to come back and bring my family with me.
The Suck Valley Way is all about roots. Always make sure to bring your boots. Walking or fishing caters for all, with the high possibility of canoeing in the fall. Retired, just bored, or no place to go, active age will surely have something you know. Stretch those legs with Thelma to get fit, or fancy taking a drive to the Galway Strip.
Active age started in March, and it goes on from about 11 to 1. And there's always, when it's near over, we all have a cup of tea and a biscuit. We had different people giving different talks, but the last one was the crime provincial officer from Roscommon.
I do like the prayers in the morning a lot, and it gets me up and out in the morning.
Join the Ladies' Club party nights, feeding the villagers with all they can muster. To include everybody, it might be a cluster. Christmas and Valentine's is never forgotten, when the ladies at the helm pull out all the stops begotten.
So the Ladies' Club also provides a great social outlet for all the committee members and the members in the club. We have formed great friendship over the years. It's inclusive of all ages, and new members are also welcome.
The safety of all our community is much of a priority, with the DFIB committee and Community Alert looking after the majority. Through training and talks, people feel at ease, without so much as mentioning a word about. Our graveyard committee is one to aspire, ensuring the cemetery is there to admire. Ready for Mass the first Sunday in June, when we all gather together to say prayers in late afternoon. To send the smile is a must to mention, bringing sunshine to siblings of loss, their main attention, turning sadness, grief and deep despair into kindness, passion and hopeful repair. Another community event running on its 9th year is the St. Patrick's Day Parade we hold so very dear. It's not without effort and creates some stress, beguns coming together when everyone is in dress. Making TV appearances for 2 years somehow, we are amazed and awed by our village efforts right now. It's not all about old, but new woven together. One for mention is St. Crone's GA pitch for all weather, togging out for matches in their blue and white kits. Members, non-members, everyone fits. Not one for footy, not a goalie in you. Chris O'Dowd recommends our rounders may be your crew. The I Walk and Talk is a new community initiative. Promotion of health and well-being our main motive. Socially inclusive activities open to each soul. Positive mental health and community involvement the goal.
it to Ross Timothy. Number 8, he's going forward. Passes it to Kevin Smith. Kevin looks at the post, he kicks it with his right foot. He kicks it high, and he picks it up.
Doing our bit for those in need, Hospice steps up to organise Shine a Light Tree. Another great fundraiser and one for community talk is St Stephen's Day annual 5-kilometre walk. Roman Catholic Church St Bride's stands proud in our community. The choir within, young and old, sing beautiful songs in unity. The memories it holds, both of sadness and joy, a wedding, a funeral, a christening of a girl or a boy. St Bride's National School we are blessed to have in our location, supported by a very active and helpful Parents Association, organising activities, community parties, Santa visits and more, welcoming grandparents on their special day with an open door. We owe many thanks to all in our village, the post office mistress, the school bus driver too, the teachers, the publicans, our priests of which we have two, dailies for bicycles, Holland for tyres, and not to forget Cunyon when the insurance expires, Figaro's our barber and Bosco for buses, Waldron for lawnmowers and silver taxis for all rushes. Let you all take a stand and be by our side as we continue to attempt to name our reasons for pride. Our Roadrunner girls are something of a wonder, running, walking and climbing until they fall asunder. If that's not enough, the Sister Act crowd will lip sync on stage, the applause was allowed. The Heritage Weekend is something of a chime, bringing all the villagers together for a step back in time. To show off our woes to all in our grasp, entertaining yearly visitors and their childhood stories, alas.
You're all very welcome to Ballintubber today. You have many places here that's of interest and has a lot of heritage, starting down the biodiversity garden.
I wouldn't like to be cutting 200 acres on it.
Coming across to Kinney's old bar.
Here we are in Kinney's old public house. This premises traded in the 1900s. I believe them times you could buy a drink, perhaps a pint of Guinness, for as little as 3 to 4 pence.
Coming right down Columba Daly's Old World Shop, their museum, it's absolutely fabulous.
So I remember all about the old time shopping and all the weighing and all the stuff that came loose, and teachers and the sugar, everything had to be weighed on the scale, like, you know, and packed into paper bags and whatever.
Coming right down there at the grotto, right up here, the graveyard. Thank you to Mary Timoney and Martin.
Underneath here, we've got a mermaid. I remember when I first came in here and said, well, look, what's a mermaid doing in Ballintubber? You're so far away at the sea. And the reason why the mermaid is there is because it's the crest of the Byrne family. It's a lovely image.
It's right up into Garvey's. They have a lovely new beer garden there, and they have an old world bar.
The reason it was called it was American Wake was because it was kind of a party, but the son or the daughter was leaving to go to America. And in a lot of cases, 99% of the cases, they would never come back.
Right next door is the forge. We have old-fashioned models, but now painted, and there as well.
This is one of his Thomas that he made. Yeah. That was one of his. Dad made that now.
Your dad,
Yeah, that's been perfectly made. You wouldn't get them like that today.
No.
No.
Oh, that's the lucky one here.
And all the way back up to the castle.
We have this great big Anglo-Norman castle built in the early 14th century.
This is a really high-end piece of interior design.
It's part of the earlier original building, and then this is a later addition.
Bridget founded the monastery of Kildare and helped spread Christianity through Ireland and beyond her shores.
So what you do then is you just keep going round one after the other.
So after that, it's up to yourselves to enjoy the day. Everybody have a great day, and thank you for coming here today.
The Development Association looks after the old schoolhouse, monitoring access for everyone, even the field mouse. A hub for activities, providing space that is central, makes having community meetings extremely simple. Times may be a struggle, but together we will remain. In June joining Tidy Towns, Tuesday even in the rain. As we paint, dig, plant and brush, understanding the committee's sudden state of rush. Bee pollinating, recycling, poop scooping big and small, leaves the village looking fabulous and the envy of all.
So then, just speaking on behalf of the Tidy Towns here and the Chairperson's Committee, just to show you some of the awards that's on display here today for all our hard work. So last year we just received over in Westport 4 awards, which we're very proud of. One for the Regional Pollination Award, which we've won the last 3 years and we're extremely proud of. One for the Silver Medal, one for 3rd in the county, and one for the Endeavour Award. So we're very proud, we work very hard here in the community and we're very proud of our awards.
Could be something beautiful. Do you remember all those lazy summer days, drinking cheap red wine with no sense of time, lost at the picnic, running, laughing hand in hand, and body and soul we meet, flying higher than the trees. Ooh, I love that you're so free and you keep coming back to me, but someday you'll find I won't be waiting. When I close my eyes I just see you. Oh, we'd be so much better together, stuck like glue. I'm thinking this could be something beautiful. I'm thinking this could be something beautiful.
Volunteers' roles of that we have many, roles that are taken year after year by lifting the phone to ask by any chance you near. From fundraising stewards, parking attendants, to bartenders and more. Will you wear this crazy costume and will you find another 4? The doorman who also set up the marquee will not be forgotten when they serve ham sambos and tea. None of this will be possible without much report. Roscommon County Council and Roscommon lead a partnership support. Participants on CE, TUS and RSS, who year-round work tirelessly without much rest, assisting the various committees to sustain and nurture, ensure the community of Ballintubber has a strong future. Our village is small, that we will agree, a population of just over 253. Community groups providing services out of pleasure, recreation and activities for fitness or leisure, amenities in business, shopping and a social scene, coupled with fundraisers for health and well-being. When the situation requires, we'll stand side by side, testament to a community with hearts full of pride.
Come on, Wilsgrove Hall! Done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright and bright new day in the town